Alrighty, we are here, we being me and Seth and Austin. We're here to discuss the game that we finished. Which, can I just say, not to suck my own dick or anything, but, not many GMs finish games. I know this was a shorter one, but,
there's Austin.
I'm proud of myself.
You finished it. It was complete. It had a good, overarching story.
It makes sense why it takes so long too, because kind of just diving right in, because we're just gonna be. I have a loose itinerary of what we want to talk about, but we're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, you fucking know.
But talking about how long it took.
Oh yeah.
Soul Survivors, right, was the campaign that this was based off of, or the original, one night, one shot.
How fucking long did that take?
I think about
6 hours?
7 hours.
6-7 hours. Jesus, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Johan was fucking asleep by the end of it.
Yeah, he just straight up passed out. But that was in 2020.
Jesus.
And then I started planning this 2021-ish. We played the first session.
You're right.
November 2022. We're recording this in, what is it, September 2023. This is coming out in April 2024. This recording is being made public.
So this is a series that spans 4 fucking years.
From concept to finished, which is wild.
Why so far?
It is. It's so far. But I wanted to be able to talk about this because, I like going back over series and be like, hey, this is what we did. This is what we did good. This is what we could have done better. This is parts we liked, and here's parts that we didn't see because I made a bunch of software for this game, and I want to be able to show it to my players, and I thought might as well record. So we're just going to go in roughly chronological order, I guess, in terms of topic. What I want to talk about first is the sort of inspiration, which was, in universe. The inspiration is the setting that I've been working on for ever.
Jesus, yeah.
It's really my first setting.
Formative adolescent years and to now.
Yeah. I think I started writing stuff in this setting when I was 16.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit. I don't necessarily want to get too deep into that rabbit hole just because.
Do we have we talked about that before on mic?
Maybe. So yeah, I guess I can go briefly into how I had written a audio drama, or it wasn't even intended to be that. It was just a series when I was younger. I rewrote it a couple times. I tried to turn the entire thing into an audio drama. It didn't pan out. I'm going to release the first episode eventually. Maybe it'll be out by this time. I don't know if my life's kind of in the middle of a clusterfuck at the moment, so I doubt I'll have the extra time, but maybe I'll get it out in the next 4 months because I have nothing on the itinerary right now after finishing this and after finishing another project that I'm working on. My schedule is clear. Regardless, I don't want to get too deep into that just because I know there are a lot of stories I want to tell in that setting, and I don't want to spoil all of them. And so if it's not pertinent to this, I'm not going to get into it. But basically, this is a setting I've been adapting for a while. But I haven't really had much of a chance to tell stories in it because for a while I sort of restricted myself because I thought, okay, well, I have to write everything in chronological order. And after a while, I just went, what, fuck it.
We're doing things whenever.
I'm doing things whenever, and I'm choosing a group of mostly disconnected people.
Okay, I was in the audio drama. I tried voicing one of these characters, and I had to.
Yeah.
I think it was Caleb, right? And so he's got where are these guys at in this when Lost Minds is happening in timeline?
So that's a great question.
That is a great question.
I wonder what the answer is. I don't think. Yeah, it's weird. I won't nail it down an exact time just because that could be a spoiler. I don't know yet. I don't know enough about what the audience should know to know if that's a spoiler or not. But I will say this. If Journey to Oblivion, which is the name of the audio drama pilot that I'm going to release eventually, is the first episode of season 1, Lost Minds is like the season 4 mid-season finale.
Yo, alright.
In the overall story. We are far along.
Well, okay, so I'm just gonna wipe the next 3 questions out and just... I wanted to know, because that's something I was interested in.
We might get into it later on as we go on, because as we get to, like, the stuff with soot, that becomes more relevant.
Oh boy, yeah.
But anyway, moving on to inspiration in terms of, like, mechanics. You guys may remember that a while ago I wanted to run a game called Mission Specialists.
Yo,
Yeah.
I remember that one.
It was based off of a Disney sitcom series called Lab Rats. Because at the time, like, I'd just done Soul Survivors and we were doing Harbinger and things were getting a little bit dark, and I kind of wanted to have a lighter series, something a little bit more upbeat and goofy, kind of like Monster of the Week, let's fight a goofy supervillain parody. The sort of pitch was that you were a superhero of some sort and you could choose from a randomized list of abilities, or some of them would be randomly generated, and your kit would basically be all of those abilities. Eventually, I scrapped that idea just because a couple reasons, as Seth aptly put forth at the time. The concept is very referential, and neither of my players would understand the references.
I'm slowly learning to understand these.
Yeah, we're
references.
rewatching Lab Rats as we record this. Right, and then the other reason that I sort of dropped Mission Specialists is I felt like at the time we couldn't really. The tone I wanted to go for, I don't think it would have fit the group. It was a little bit too plot light. There wasn't a lot of sustenance there on purpose, and I kind of realized, I don't know if this is. And at that point too, Abby was sort of losing interest in tabletop, and she would have been the perfect player for that kind of game, but she was sort of, so it just didn't work out, which is fine because I cannibalized most of that and I put it into this. Same concept, abilities randomly generated, and what have you.
That's how the tech showed up, didn't it?
Yeah, that's how the software came to be. And so I created my own system from that. I would have, looking back on it now, there are a couple things I would have changed about the system. Looking back on it now, I think I would have instead of coming up with my own system, I would have instead used the sentiment system.
Really?
And here's why. One of
What's the sentiment?
my biggest mistakes in this game, arguably maybe my biggest mistake, is that without software, the system is basically a nothing burger. There's energy that exists that let you boost skill abilities, but that's it. And as we'll get into, you guys didn't have abilities for nearly as long as I thought you would.
A good fucking bit, and then we didn't have them again.
And so, what the sentiment system is you have 3 attributes. Each of them is represented by a d6. Those attributes represent the different cores of your character's being. It can be super complex, it can be super vague, it doesn't matter, but the 3 attributes are the sum of your character, and depending on, how they're feeling, they might roll a one-colored d6 or a different one. And it basically it's a system that works well without homebrew, but there are also 6 gift slots, which you can put homebrew gifts in. And the biggest flaw of the sentiment system is that there are no modules, there's no support. You have to come up with everything for yourself, and I was already doing that. And so I think I would have, instead of having 10 slots, I would have just had 6, and you could add different software, maybe double up on software. You know, and of course, at the time I was sort of skeptical of the sentiment system, honestly, just because I didn't really see it in action without absurd amount of homebrew. But after watching a campaign called Unmarked Grave that was mostly without homebrew, I was like, oh man, I should have just used that. Speaking of Unmarked Grave, that inspired that was another change I would have made looking back, which is I would have put a little bit more care into the hex crawl aspect, because basically, if we look at the map, which we will, like, the map was basically hey, here are the locations, you go to a location, in between, maybe you'll encounter an enemy, maybe you won't, that's basically it.
It was an overworld map.
The world was sort of intentionally empty, but I feel like I could have put more time into that and turned it into an actual hex scroll thing with like specific enemies and areas and stuff. I don't know if that would have worked well for this group in particular, but it's definitely something I look back on and think, yeah, I probably should have either committed to that, or I should have just, like, hand-waved all of the different upgrade slots and just had a beeline route from top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
Just basically either streamlined it or didn't half-ass the exploration. I think it worked. Like, I feel better about it looking back now than I did in the moment, but...
So we kind of were just zipping around looking for software, and we ended up getting, like... breast mod and dancing.
Yeah, we'll get into it. And then the one more thing I just want to say real quick that I would have changed is the gambling. I wanted to provide a danger,
right,
with the gambling. The problem was it was never worth it.
A fucking outlet for our gambling addictions.
It felt like it was never worth the risk, especially at a certain point.
You might get breast mod.
Well, yeah, it either would be useless, or even if it's useful, you would get glitches.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Where we could get glitches and then just get hard reset.
So just to remind people, how it worked was you would log into the thing, you would see what the level of corruption it was. Which I didn't specify, and I should have. I liked the idea of keeping things vague and you finding out on your own, but that doesn't really work when finding out is exclusively detrimental to you.
Yes.
How it worked is you would roll at random. You would roll a D3 for the value of the software. You would roll a D20 for which software you get, and then you would roll an additional die of varying numbers depending on the corruption level. And if you rolled corruption, you got that number. If you didn't, you get the software. What I should have done is I thought of this like 2/3 of the way into the game, but at that point we'd already done most of the gambling. It'd be so late to introduce this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You would roll 3 options. You would see the 3 options by name. You wouldn't know what it was, but I would tell you what the 3 names were. You could then decide to re-roll all of them, or you could choose one. Once you've chosen one, then we do the glitch probability.
Yeah, sounds better, yeah.
The one thing I could say also is that for the different terminals, some of them just had a higher corruption rating.
Yeah.
And since that didn't scale with the benefit, there's no reason to go for a terminal that has higher corruption rating.
Yeah.
Might as well just
there was again, looking at the map, there's a point in the series where it's like, oh yeah, I get to fill up the last of the map. Wrong. False. There was the crust, the very crust of the planet that I did not show you guys. So there are 5 different levels, right? There's the crust up here.
Oh, there's a fucking station up there.
Yeah. There's Tremel layer 1, 2, 3, and then there's the core. The corruption got exponentially worse the higher up you went.
Right.
So as you got lower, the corruption would be better because the technology would be better maintained and better constructed. which is a cool lore fact that kind of sucks as a mechanic. Again, things I would have changed. And then, of course, the you were talking about the value. Basically, how it would work is there would be one of every of the 3 values per level, right? So A, B, G, A, B, G, A, B, G. And then, in total, there would be an A, B, and G, alpha, beta, gamma of each color somewhere on the planet.
Right.
All that to say, I would have changed that. And so yeah, we can actually start going through now, sort of beat by beat, discussing the what we were doing. I will just say also, I'm gonna be changing the music as we go. The music I have organized into playlist. If you look on the channel, you can like go over to playlist. I have it all in order, labeled, if you want to check that out. But yeah, starting off with the assault on London.
Starting with the best parts.
We're going
of
back.
the series.
That was goofy.
I was a little goofy. I had no idea what the series was gonna be, so
right,
I just left off with the last thing that we were doing.
That the idea was sort of to make it feel. I wanted something that felt seamless for you guys and felt like a fun hook for new people.
Yeah. I can't imagine someone watching Lost Minds just flat out.
Yeah, I mean Soul Survivors has never seen the light of day.
Never seen the light of day.
Bro,
really funny.
I got glassed by association because this guy was sprinting towards, and then what? Didn't Dixon like catcall the
yeah,
guy?
I'm just gonna acknowledge that right away.
Okay.
The catcalling, I'm running the risk of sounding over dramatic. I have a sense of karmic justice. If someone does some shit, I will remember it and make them pay for it later. But I kind of felt like I didn't need to with Dixon in that moment because the sheer horror he had and just embarrassment for the rest of the game when he found out that the beacon was basically a god. It was so funny.
Bro, that means he went Reddit incel when he chose the evil side.
No, he fucking...
Yeah, he was a bit of a simp for the siren. I did actually have stat lines for the beacon, as well as Lapis, and you never learned her name, but the red one, Scarlet.
True. I tried. It's not for lack of trying.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. She was not going to talk to you under any circumstances.
I don't know how we would have found that out.
Yeah, no, that wasn't... It was a precaution for me in case you guys somehow
we're just like...
I didn't want to be unprepared.
Right.
But yeah, I won't go into all the details. There's a lot of stuff here. A lot of it is spoilery. I will say, all of them have software. The Beacon, Lapis, Scarlet, all have software.
So then why are we here then?
That feels like something that you could sort of figure out based off of information I've said in the series near the beginning.
They want to live forever!
Lapis said something along the lines of, the people, you're in a unique position to do this mission. There are other people that also have this software, but we're not willing to risk them. And she is included in that.
Interesting.
And now that we're talking about Lapis, is there anything else we want to talk about the opening scene, or are we...
The red is mean.
Other than being a character-defining moment.
Yeah, sorry, Icarus. Seth, Michael had that had that memory sequence between this. And then you guys all showed up in the Lapis sort of mind prison.
Palace.
Yeah. This is where you guys learned your backstories. I reverse engineered Dixon and Morgan's backstories based off of what I knew about them. Michael's backstory actually was something that Seth had mentioned offhandedly about Michael in Soul Survivors or afterwards, and I remembered that and kept that consistent.
I think that I just... I think that was like mid-session. I just like almost a bit, but yeah, no that.
Yeah, there was stuff discussed there. I don't remember a lot of it. She basically told you what your mission was. I knew that most of you guys wouldn't be receptive to it. I appreciate something I'll say right away. It was the party's biggest strength and biggest weakness. Strength in terms of narrative, weakness in terms of gameplay, which is your diverse reactions to things happening.
Yeah.
What a treat.
In this case, being Morgan being more than willing to comply, Dixon being like, yeah, fuck it,
Okay, sure.
and then Michael being like, this sucks, I hate it.
I'm sorry, what the fuck is going on here? Is no one willing to question? No one? Okay, great.
I also wanted to. I also introduced Amy here.
Amy!
Who I think is
MVP.
probably my favorite character of this. This like, no, like I'll be honest. I feel like just because mostly it's because you guys started with something, and Amy was truly just a nothing character, and sort of like became something. But I mean, really, that could be set up for all of you guys.
Just runs campaign.
Amy's
Favorite
also,
character's
like-
the NPC.
Yeah,
Well,
like, Amy's also
alright.
the least deranged out of all
I
three. of
I
us.
suppose I should re-clarify.
Good.
She's my favorite character of mine.
No, I mean, I would also accept that she was not a psychopath. So.
She was. It's funny. She's by comparison she wasn't, but she was also down for some pretty malicious shit. It just wasn't super apparent by comparison.
Yeah.
By comparison, it's so huge.
There's a lot to dig into with Amy. I don't know if we should do that now or late. I guess we can talk about it as time goes on. But I wanted you guys to have a GMPC, just because I wanted a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you laugh, but, like, you kind of need that as a GM sometimes,
Yeah.
especially in a setting so devoid of other NPCs.
If you're not gonna talk to anyone for like days, you gotta fucking have somebody. Especially because all the enemies were non-verbal until like episode 12.
Gent, yeah.
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 There was going to be 2 GMPCs, actually, initially, which was at the end of Soul Survivors when you stole Jeb's ship, who was the bounty hunter.
No.
There was a dude in his sort of cargo bay that was like a bounty of his.
Did that guy die?
I wonder.
I remember briefly thinking about that and then being distracted. Is that dude fucking dead?
So basically what happened is he was in Jeb's ship, God. He was in Jeb's ship. You landed that in the Zenith cruiser. The Zenith cruiser got cut in half.
Yeah.
So maybe
His
there was
ass is
also
dead.
several people like on that cruiser that you hadn't killed
Yeah,
yet.
but fuck them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but that brother's gone.
Yeah, no, he's
was-
fucking
anyway.
He's
dead.
just...
Let me out!
In the original plan,
He
for
starved
this,
to death.
he was going to be a GMPC, but as I sort of developed the story more and realized you sort of needed that brain software to enter the planet, it didn't make sense. The general role for him and Amy was he would be super helpful, but also kind of shady. He would have a lot of passive abilities that would make him easily the most powerful, like, at the start of the game.
Right.
But also maybe not on the up and up. Whereas
so we would have
Amy...
killed him immediately.
Well, no, that's the thing, because he's so strong. If you tried to, at least at the beginning, it would have been difficult.
Hey, if there's one thing us as a group were good at, it was unintentionally killing people.
Sure.
Like,
Whereas
like-
Amy was going to be very, very helpful in any way she could. However, she started with 4 out of 10 mind slots with permanent trauma or void song. So basically, she was going to be maybe, despite her best efforts, more of a hindrance than a help.
Yeah.
Which did not last for long, thankfully. Yeah, I think that's all.
What was your plan for Void Song? Because that didn't pop up super strong until we started like ending cinematic with it.
Yeah, so the idea was that you guys. Okay, well, I guess we'll jump ahead to you guys getting on the planet then, to sort of talk about that. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. There are 8 different main software colors, with the 9th being gold that you guys had from Zenith. There's, red, orange, black, which are the bad ones, and then pink, blue, green, yellow, purple as the good ones. The idea was that you would get glitches from terminals. You would get Void Song from Void enemies and each other. And you would get trauma from either taking injuries or investigating
dying.
bodies.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Fucking dying is underneath the category of taking injuries, but yeah. You guys arrived. You sort of split up and went over everything.
Right. We found a body.
Yeah, you found a body, and you very smartly did not link up with the body. If you had, I would have rolled on the trauma table and given you a randomized trauma. I was caught off guard, and it makes sense that you would ask this. It was really my fault. But you, before linking into the body, you asked, all right, well, how did he die?
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there like, well, that depends on what I roll on the trauma. Really, what I should have done is rolled on the trauma table, then told you, and yeah. But anyway.
Oh, so that's why you couldn't. I was really confused. Like, what's going on? You said you said you couldn't tell me, and that immediately just piqued my interest. I thought there was something hidden there.
Yeah.
I thought there was some like weird what do you call it, like mind glitch inside our system that we couldn't see his injuries.
Yeah.
So he had like
he
had like a weird visual like obfuscation.
So yeah, I'm gonna, as we bring up new characters and new software, I'm just gonna run through all of them. On the table, and this is for most of them, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and 7 to 9 are common. 10 to 11, 12 to 13, and 14 to 15 are sort of medium, and then 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 are their own. So 1 to 3 was shot dead, which is you get disadvantage on ranged attack checks, and taking damage from the murder weapon inflicts an additional trauma of this type.
Wait. Didn't I have that one at one point?
Yeah, so the other way to get trauma outside of interacting with bodies and contracting from that is just by having it done to you.
Right. Yes. I believe I was shot and had that.
Yeah.
And we didn't add another trauma.
You got shot unconscious, didn't you?
Damage from the murder weapon, as in not the weapon type, the specific weapon itself.
Oh, the murder. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be that mean.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, wow, that would have fucking sucked.
4 to 6 is the exact same thing, stabbed, bludgeoned, but with melee damage. 7 to 9, fell to death, disadvantage on acrobatics as well as escape artist checks while in a high place. 10 and 11 is betrayed, disadvantage on sense motive checks.
I feel like that would make you better at sensing motive.
You're looking at everyone else like they're going to betray me, so you just be seeing the same thing over and over again.
Crippling anxiety, 12 to 13. You always go last in turn order.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Mental fatigue, 14 to 15. Disadvantage on tech
We got a couple
checks.
of those, didn't we?
I believe you got that one. And I believe Gent actually started with that one. Skittish, 16. Disadvantage on intimidation and stealth checks. 17 is burned alive. Disadvantage when using weapons or attacks with the fire type, and taking fire damage of any kind inflicts an additional trauma.
Did we see any fire at all?
One of us threw a fire grenade.
Yeah, there was a fire grenade. There were a lot of weapons that you did not interact with. You will see.
I noticed that.
18, disassociation, disadvantage on perception and investigation checks. 19 is electrocuted to death, which is the exact same as burned alive, but with electric damage. And then 20 is hopelessness, which is the one that Morgan got as a treat. Which is when you roll a natural 1, you must roll disadvantage on everything for 1 round per trauma you are afflicted with. but like it was fine because we both forgot about it, so it never really came into effect.
Did she start rolling ones?
Yeah, she rolled 3 once during her fight with Gent.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
She went through an anime.
I would have wiped.
she anime protagonists and she fought through.
I mean, you did wipe. You got your ass
fucking died
beat. You
Yeah.
got body slammed to death into the side of a wall.
Oh no, she did fucking die, didn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, I got wiped. And
So
I,
it doesn't
and I
really
TP'd
matter,
down.
yeah.
While in that room, I guess. What should we tackle next?
What do we do first? We just started exploring.
Yeah, you start exploring. You got some randomized software from that table before leaving the room.
I started playing Fallout.
You got obsessed with that hole for no reason.
The entire first episode, I was like, all right, we're gonna do some environmental storytelling. We're gonna figure out the mystery.
Yeah, it was basically, and you did learn a lot of information. The fact that the energy plants were something that was in the back of my mind, but I never thought you guys would care enough about that for me to mark it on the map, so I did it in retrospect. Remember, the energy places, which ended up being instrumental in the overall plot of the story. Do we want to tackle some of these now? Because you did get yellow and purple software from the beginning. Yellow is utility. And 1 to 3 was athletics. Gamma level is 1 + 1 die mod, so D4. Beta is D6. Alpha is D8. I'm not going to go over that every single time. Assume from now on, if it's the normal gamma, beta, alpha set, it is D4,
4, 6, 8.
D6, D8.
Appreciate.
And then at alpha, also you get +1 melee damage.
What's yellow?
Utility. Utility and military, which is blue, were supposed to be the sort of very practical, here are the fighty ones.
We got everything but those. Woo, baby!
Everything but those.
And then when we did, we got D4 punch.
Yeah. Vent sanitizer. This one was gotten by Dixon at the beginning. 4 to 6. Escape artist 1, 2, 3. And then alpha level, you get sleight of hand as well with a D4. By the way, also, it's going to be terribly unorganized because I don't care that much about it. But if you want, dear listener, I'm going to link this document in the description if you want to go through and find these. 7 to 9 was the Berg Buster package, which is unarmed melee damage +1, +2, +3. As well as your unarmed damage is considered to be fire. So, like the electricity fists that Gent had, the Berg Buster was basically, hey, yeah, so this is a mining planet where the miners just punch the ice with fire fists. And then alpha level of that, you get intimidation because obviously, Jesus Christ.
There definitely wouldn't be a burger brawler archetype that would be born from those ashes.
Fun thing, too, is because Berg Buster and I believe it was called the Peacekeeper package are 2 different things. You could have them stack as well. So you could have 1 fist of fire, 1 fist of lightning. Just go wild.
Start monking.
10 to 11 was the server maintenance. Morgan started with this one. The tech software 1, 2, 3 with a reboot ability with alpha, which is you spend 1 energy to reroll a tech roll.
Felt pretty good to have.
Yeah, it was very good for you to have. Factory technician package 12 to 13, basically the same but with hardware, and then alpha you as a bonus you get sleight of hand, D4. 14 to 15, the energy conservator package. Increase your energy to its maximum, then this software is immediately deleted. And then beta level is you can use that twice, and then alpha level is you can use that 3 times. So basically it was just a full recharge. The personal power package, which is 16, which is you increase your energy capacity by +1, +2, and +3, depending on the level you got. And then alpha comes with a passive, rolling a crit on a utility skill, so any of these yellows, restores 1 energy. So, at max you could have I think 8 energy.
Bro.
Belt sweeper package 17. you have the ability to hover and slowly move vertically and diagonally.
That would have been sick to have, bro.
You get a D4, D6, D8 in being able to maneuver, and Alpha you get at the start of combat or when you're attacked, increase your AC by +1 die mod. So basically, how that would have worked is, every time you are attacked, if the attack would hit, you would roll a D4 to increase your AC by that amount.
Wow.
Yo.
And everyone's AC was 10, if you remember.
Right, yeah.
That would have been sick.
18. This is the one that Amy started with, the resource efficiency package, which is absorbing energy from targets. And Gamma allowed you to punch someone and take 1 energy. Beta is 2. Alpha is 3. And then 19 is the Ember Warden, which is the coolest way I could think of rephrasing Firefighter. You have immunity to fire damage, regardless of which one you have, and then with Gamma, Beta, and Alpha, you have DR 1, 2, and 3 against Plasma, which would have been pretty good as well.
Did we fight Plasma?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all of their guns.
All of their guns.
Yeah.
Bro.
And then,
I've
finally,
instantly, dude.
20 is the Personal Instant Spatial Repositioning Package. You can teleport.
You can spend energy to teleport.
Spend energy to teleport. I won't read it all out, but basically, you can either teleport to a place you can see or a place you've designated, and if you bring extra people, there's a
fail chance.
There's a fail chance that increases exponentially depending on how many additional things. And yeah, that's yellow. Let's tackle purple as well. Administration, which was sort of the abilities to help make the system itself more efficient. So basically just like cheats. And also some lore stuff. For example, 1 to 3 is personal ID tag.
One of us got this.
Yeah, which is basically, hey, you get the ID belong to someone and all of their information and all of their belongings, and depending on Gamma, Beta, Alpha, that improved how good their stuff was. Which, that would have been preferable to get during the open world exploration and not near the end of the game, is what it is.
I now know things.
4 to 6. Census officer package, which is the the list, all of the occupants. You have a list of all the occupants, and that amount increased. Layer A and B, layer A, B, and C for Beta, Alpha.
Using that skill, could we have figured out how many people were inside with like Gent in them?
You probably would have learned who they were as well, like as civilians.
If we had Alpha.
And also you got, because you would need to know layer C. And also you got tracking D4 with the Alpha level there. Generally speaking, it would be a, D4, D6, D8, and then with the D8 is an additional either
right.
D4 or a skill.
With, different
7 to 9, personal protection packet, personal passcode protection package. This was on a bunch of the guards. Basically, you have to meet a DC.
Sorry. I'm just saying, I'm looking through all these skills. I'm like, dude, we were the most uncool loser motherfuckers.
Guess how I felt the entire game.
We just kept rolling like shit.
I love it.
We kept gambling and
what happened
losing.
is you rolled like shit like 3 times and then decided, fuck it, let's not roll ever again.
Yeah.
Well, we kept losing all of our cool skills.
No, you gave them away.
Well, not
we
we gambled, lost, got fucking fried.
Then again, even with their skills, if we kept them, we would have been better off. But we wouldn't have been walking through this dungeon. We would have been pretty easy clap, to be honest.
The 79's personal passcode protection package, which is you have to meet a DC when you interact with someone, or you take electric damage. So it's sort of like a safeguard. All of the guards had this in the final dungeon, where if you interacted with them, they would zap you.
Yeah, that's what that was then. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cybersecurity package, which is clearance on Gamma, Beta, and then Alpha tier locks, which is 10 to 11.
I have one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sector Inquisitor package,
Jason had
12 to 13, which is investigation, 4, 6, 8, and also sense motive, D4 with the Alpha level. The internal transceiver package, which you all had, the intercom, the telepathic intercom.
that we used to great effect.
Yeah, no, that one got the most use. The Bedrock Permadrive package is number 16. This software is considered permanent. Choose one software boon you currently have slotted. It is also considered permanent.
Bro?
So basically, if you were to be knocked unconscious or glitch out or basically permanent trauma stays no matter what, right?
Right.
This is considered the same. So you just
permanent
can't
ability.
lose this.
Nice.
That would have been really nice to have. After I like spawned back into that body.
And
at
you
the
can,
bottom.
and with like up to alpha level, you can choose 3 different slotted boons to increase like that. The Jack of all trades package, which is 17, gain a D4, D6, or D8 depending on the level skill that you don't have. You just do that. So out of combat, that's insane. I made a note that like choosing or changing the skill is a full round action in terms of combat. Because like, you know, I didn't want you to be good at everything in a combat situation easily, but like this one's busted. This should have been 20. I don't know why that's 17. There's
it's still 1 in 20.
Yeah, it's true. The expanded mental storage package. Gain +2 mind slots, gain +3 mind slots, gain +4 mind slots.
That would have been really nice for somebody I think I know.
Yeah.
Then there's
this one that you don't want.
the collective consciousness coalescer package. So fun fact about this one, I'm going to read out each of the different ones for this one because it matters. So the first one, the gamma, is choose any character with this package. You may use any of their software as if it were your own. If they are afflicted with any trauma or void mind, you immediately gain it and vice versa. That's the one that fucked over the entire country or planet. Beta. Choose any character with the package. You can use their software as if it was your own. They are afflicted with any void. If they are afflicted with any void mind, you immediately gain it and vice versa. So not trauma, just void mind. And then alpha, you don't need to worry about it. You can just use their software. So alpha's fine. Alpha's good. It's just beta and gamma will mess with you.
And wait, hold on. If we rolled that, would we not immediately just get fucking bricked? If you rolled 19?
No, you can choose to reject it. Like Dixon got this and immediately
it comes
deleted
up and then
because basically, what would if he has it, he's fine. It's only when he links with someone who also has it that's a problem.
Yeah.
So one of the floating bodies could have like zipped into his head and then like linked in and then.
Yeah, I was going to have a segment if. We'll get into this. I guess we can talk about it now. We're kind of going out of order already. If you guys had decided to find some way to escape and weren't on the same page as the Siren, I would have had the Stalker use this ability to give all of the flying fucks their invisibility.
That's so interesting.
Then there's 20. Apex Gen Processor Package. Choose one of the main 5 boon colors. You may roll with advantage when using skills of that color. And Beta gives you 2 different colors, and Alpha gives you 3. So...
Sounds correct.
Yeah, very good. So, all of that, me talking aside, I'm losing my voice, you got the software that you did. I think we'll have to go through pink now.
Yes,
just
we
because
will.
you guys got to the pink one, which is the goofy one. Pink is the goofy one, and I am a little disappointed you went to that one first because it wasn't a great... It kind of buried the lead, you know?
We got like 5 glitches and we're like, alright, it's fine, we'll just go to this pink one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got shorted out there, you got lame software.
Like a cat suit or something.
Yeah.
Cat ears, tits, and annoying music.
Alright, so 1 through 6 is the Legacy of the Six package, which is you gain a skin avatar that you can change, corresponding to the number that you rolled in honor of the brave heroes who fought to protect humanity. So depending on if you rolled 1 through 6, you would get a skin that you could change your appearance to look like any one of the 6 heroes that we discussed near the end of the campaign, right? Depending on who you rolled, you would have been reminded of things. You would have been like, oh, hey, that looks like the person right?
Yeah.
So this was more of a roleplay thing. What?
We got like the Neko ears, we got the massive mommy milkers, and then we've got slick moves, which is the entire middle section of that entire.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just go over those quickly. Slick moves, perform 1, 2, 3, and acrobatics. Amy rolled this thrice. You remember that? I mentioned that she
went to the fucking terminal and came back and was like, well, I got fucking nothing.
10 to 11 is the Neko Ears package, which is Perception 1, 2, 3, and then Alpha gets Acrobatics 1. I didn't want these to be useless, but
Goddamn cat ears. You want something to be useless.
And then we have the Massive Mommy Milkers, which is 12, 13. Persuasion, D4, D6, D8. And the Alpha passive is negative D4 for all characters that can see you on Perception.
Giga tits strapped to your chest.
Yeah, this was... Let it be known that if it was not this group, I never would have included this in one of my games.
Mm. And we rolled it.
And you rolled it. There is the Spooker Wooker.
Yeah. This one was actually
14 to 15, which is basically, I believe Amy got it near the beginning. Yeah. Changes your appearance to someone's worst fear. Intimidation 4, 6, 8. For Alpha. Melee crits inflict 1 temporary trauma while it's active, which is pretty cool.
That would have been cool.
That would have been neato.
The gold skin package, 16, which is DR3 electric, DR5 electric. You are immune to electric, and all of your unarmed damage is considered to be metal for the purpose of...
That would have been convenient for trying to grab software off all the soldiers.
It also would have been convenient against Gent, because you would have been kind of,
You're just standing there like Armstrong, just taking the blood.
Yeah. And basically you would be just completely gold. Bright gold the entire time.
Dixon would have just immediately started booling the fuck out.
17, the wacky inflatable tube arms package.
You get fucking Namekian arms?
Which is melee attacks may be made against characters within 20, then 30, then 40 feet.
Bro.
And then you get a bonus to melee
got
attacks
all
for
the
Alpha.
useless ones! No.
18, the strobe light skin package. This is maybe one of the most busted ones. All characters that can see you, all characters, must roll with disadvantage when taking actions that require sight or be afflicted with 1 temporary glitch. Stealth rolls automatically fail. And the amount of glitches taken increases exponentially. This one is scary.
Yeah!
This one is scary.
Nice.
But of course, for the final dungeon, it also was sort of balanced because everyone was shooting with disadvantage anyway, so you don't get double disadvantage. 19. Diamond skin package.
Oh, fuck off!
+3, +5, +5, DR, just straight up DR to everything. And alpha level is you are immune to metal damage.
Yeah, we sure did get the shit dipstick of this entire...
Alright, now what's 20?
20 is the voice modulator package. You have the ability to emulate any voice you have heard. You have the ability to emulate any sound you have heard. And you have the ability to emulate any sound you have heard as well as any sound from an extensive library of sounds curated over hundreds of years. Which I'm sure you guys would have used to comedic effect.
Yeah, it would be good. Pickle Red! Alright.
Hey, well, the pizza heat. Oh,
These are just things you can say with your normal voice.
But it would have been in universe. We're fucking emulating it perfect. So the ability to just open your mouth.
I don't know why this is 20. Diamond should have been 20. Alright. Alright, so quick intermission from me talking nonstop. You guys went to Pink, started driving. At that point, where did you see your characters going?
No idea.
To hell. Yeah. So no, that's not actually
hey, me too.
The real answer. But I was confused. I was just along for the ride. So there wasn't... I figured I knew that meta, we had to go down deeper at some point.
Yeah,
but it was
to go to the
I did try to establish pretty early on that you guys didn't.
What else would we have done?
That's a great idea. Let's talk about that. If you guys had gone, so because I wanted to make this as an option, off rip. Amy said, "Hey, why don't we go up? Why don't we try and find a spaceship and escape?" As you guys later learned, all of the spaceships were not in any condition to do that. But if you had gone up to the crust and had gone back to the spaceship,
Yeah.
that would have been before the Zenith Special Ops would have arrived.
Yeah.
And you would have been able, like, with a pretty easy tech roll, been able to identify, like, yeah, no, this was not, this does not have the ability to transmit you out. I mean, it has the ability, but something is messing with the signal, which was not the plan. So, you know, obvious visual indicator here next to it that, hey, maybe signal, maybe boost the signal.
Okay.
So if you went over there, you would be able to call back to Lapis. And that's where you would have met an NPC that you guys never interacted with. Again, this is not where I expected you to go. This is basically my contingency if you guys decided, you know what, screw the meta knowledge that we need to go places for this campaign. Let's just go completely off the rails. And that's where you would have met Rose. Rose would have been alone in the mindscape as you appeared. Little itty bitty baby, like 6 or 7 years old, playing hopscotch, just chilling out. Actually, one of the 4 achievements was to meet her. You good, bro?
He's fucking. I look over at Austin. He's having a fucking stroke.
So he's about to throw up.
He looks like he's about to explode.
Shit. Sorry, you said Rose, hopscotch, and my mind went.
What does that noise
Like
mean?
woodchipper, yo.
I'm still lost.
I'm with you right there, actually.
I'm sorry. It's not funny.
Correct.
It's not.
He looks like he's going to explode. Like he's actually going to fucking combust.
Bro, I don't know why my mind did that, but it was just very, yeah.
Anyway, she would have been a source of information for you guys. As long as you guys were like friendly and nice, she would have told you basically everything. She just kind of exists in that brain space as a pseudo sister of sorts to Lapis.
That would have been pretty sick.
And you guys would have maybe learned more information there. This is where I suspected that you guys might have been able to access software that I needed backup plans for, because at that point you would have known how to do that, and Rose also has software.
Would we have been able to grab software from Rose? That would be pretty sick. What software does she have?
I'm not going to... That's a spoiler. For even you guys. I'm not going to reveal it. But I will say... in terms of colors, Rose has red and silver.
Interesting. So silver isn't part of the normal...
You haven't seen silver yet.
It's curious. How will we boost the signal?
You would have just done it. Like, it wouldn't have been
Really?
too difficult.
There's like a button that says boost signal.
Yeah, probably. I probably would have had you roll something.
Just a fucking lever with crank that shit.
Basically. But yeah, no, if you did try to take software from Rose or, like, were mean at all, she would have ran away, and then you basically would have been completely cut off from Lapis. Like, Lapis would have... Scarlet would have showed up, mentally had a mental boss fight. You would have all lost, I assume. And then you just wouldn't... Them picking you up just wouldn't be on the table. They would have just basically completely abandoned you. Assuming you were mean to her. But like you guys wouldn't bully a child, right? Like, this party wouldn't bully a child.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
Cut to literally 5 seconds ago when Austin... So, Rose, there's this little child there, and his instant thought was, woodchipper? He's going to fucking blood vessel in his forehead is going to explode.
Just having an aneurysm.
He's having it.
That's so funny. It's so funny.
Alright,
It's not.
let's take a look at character sheets.
Yeah.
Because we skipped over it, but you guys did encounter your first choir member, one of the zombie likes. And their stats are basically, they have the collective consciousness coalescer package at 10, and then 1 through 9 is just void song. And if you got that, because basically what would happen is if you went to interact with them, you would roll a d10, and if you got 1 to 9, you get void song, and I would roll on the void song table. So let's look at that real quick.
Yeah, the void song that we never had any problems with at all ever.
Yeah, no, it worked out pretty nice, and that was very much in part to you guys getting the 20 software on medical.
Yep.
Let me
Sure,
find.
I think the one thing that worked out for us positively.
Yeah, that was definitely a big impact. All right, so here are the different void songs.
Oh, neat.
1 to 3 is the Song of Compassion, which is you get a negative d4 to against anyone afflicted with void song when attacking them. 4 to 6 was same deal but with damage. This one is the Song of Gentleness. 7 to 9 is the Song of Honesty. You automatically fail when rolling stealth to hide from those afflicted with void song. 10 to 11, Song of Fellowship. When you plug into an upgrade port, if you roll a black result, you gain all of their void song afflictions.
Oh, that would just kill you.
Yeah, that would have been bad. Actually, it wouldn't have. Okay, so here's the interesting thing about void song we never explored. You can't be overloaded with it. You can't glitch out with it. It basically, let's say you have 3 slots filled. If you were to be infected with that, you would instantly get 7. It has a weird amount of sentience to know that it wants to keep you active.
Right.
12 to 13 is the Song of Generosity. When another character plugs into your upgrade port, if they roll a black result, they gain all of your void song afflictions. 14 and 15, the Song of Kindness. You may inflict a willing character with void song of this type to heal them for 1d4. This is the only slightly positive one. But it's also fun because it's like it gives you more incentive to maybe pass that around. 16, the Song of Patience. In combat, you may only take a standard action or a move action, not both.
Nice.
That'd be pretty bad.
17, Song of Martyrdom. You take double damage from any character that is not afflicted with Void Song.
That would have been pretty great.
That would have been really bad for the final dungeon.
It would have been great if any of the enemies we fought had that.
18, Song of Modesty. Immediately delete all pink software. While you are afflicted with this song, you cannot equip pink software.
That's funny. Hats off to the pink software.
19, Song of Empathy. When a character within a certain range is afflicted with Void Song dies, gain 1 temporary trauma. That one sucks when you're fighting a horde.
Yep.
And then there's 20, Song of Harmony. Roll 2d20 on the Void Song table. This software contains both passives. So you get 2 for 1.
Nice. So, Song of Harmony is just reroll twice.
Yeah.
All these sound pretty epic.
Yeah, it's not
Sorry
great.
we missed out on them, to be honest.
But yeah, you guys soundly avoided that. And we can just sort of rush along here, because you guys, let's see.
We fucked around for a while.
You went to Blue next.
Went to Blue.
And Dixon had his gambling addiction.
Which he paid for.
Let's look at Blue. 1 to 3 is Heightened Awareness, which is Perception 1, 2, 3, and Initiative, also an Initiative bonus for Alpha. The Riot Wrecker package, we've been over this. Electric Damage, Punch. Gent had the max one, which is a D8.
Pretty cool to have.
Peacekeeper package, which is attack bonuses.
And damage for Alpha.
Yeah, and damage for Alpha, which would stack if you had Riot Wrecker as well.
Fucking nice.
There is the Frontier Quick Draw package, which is 10 to 11, which is bonuses to ranged attacks, as well as initiative for Alpha.
So far, these seem pretty useless.
12 to 13, Whiplash Reflexes package, increasing your AC by a flat +2, flat +4, and a flat +6.
Dodged a bullet with these ones.
As well as initiative.
I think we specifically didn't dodge bullets with that one.
The Living Shield package, we've all been there. We all had that one, which is damage reduction 1, 2, 3. And alpha level, your unarmed damage is considered plasma, because basically you would have plasma gauntlets at that point. The Hunter-Seeker package, which is your skin camouflages to the point of near invisibility. You get stealth, 1, 2, 3, as well as tracking with alpha. The Pattern Recognition Prognosticator package for 17. Action. Roll Sense Motive to study a specific character's actions and tells. DC 10. On a success, you roll with advantage when interacting with them with one round.
So roll for advantage.
So yeah, basically you spend an action to get advantage on your next roll, and with beta and alpha levels, you get 2 rounds or 3 rounds, plus sense motive for alpha. This is more of a, like, this is something that you want to do either if you can't attack someone in your current position, or like you're about to attack someone and you're just watching them, like about to ambush them, right? 18, Die Hard Protocol package. When you fall unconscious, you may give a 3-word command. Your body becomes a GM-controlled NPC that follows your instructions until you die or are awoken.
What is that? That's something. That's a fucking mechanic from another game. What is that?
I don't know. It becomes more specific depending on the higher levels. Beta level, you can update the 3-word command every round. And alpha level, if you die while in that state, you continue to function, but for every point of damage, you are inflicted with 1 permanent trauma. The secret to this game is that it is extremely hard for you to die, in all actuality.
Actually die, yeah.
Because, let's say you were to run this game with no upgrades.
Yeah.
You have 100 HP.
But you're just very, very difficult to make it through the game.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to sort of play into that with this one. 19. The Anti-Personnel Disruptor package, which is the one that all of the guards had. You roll with disadvantage when using government licensed firearms. Beta level, you roll with disadvantage when using government licensed firearms when you're the target, or when they... Okay, well, let me read this out. Characters must roll with disadvantage when using government licensed firearms when you are the target, or while they themselves or their target is adjacent to you. And then alpha is advantage, disadvantage for people adjacent, but for you itself, it just automatically fails.
It's so interesting. It's unfortunately we made some pretty cracked shots despite this, I think.
Yeah, we just used guns.
Yeah.
And then 20, the Legacy of the Night package, which is you get a sword, a really, really good sword, a D10 sword, a hard light great sword, and it has a passive, which is you can spend 3 energy or 2 energy for beta or 1 energy for alpha to just turn it into a crit. So like, hey, I deal 10 damage. Just straight up, I deal 10 damage.
That would be pretty mid, I guess. I can't imagine a lot of application for this one personally, but
I will say
I'd have to get there first.
I did specifically make it a great sword to see if it would interact with your trauma at the beginning of the game, which was against great swords, but never happened.
Why? Why would you hurt me like
you get like
this?
D20, you piss his shorts and die.
Oh great, I have a weapon I can't fucking use!
I would get it and you'd mauled.
And while we're here, let's go over the orange. Let's go over the orange. One's the glitches, right?
Yes. We're very familiar with these.
So 1 to 6 is little guy. The ability is it's just a little guy. This just hogs a slot. That's it. It's annoying.
It just fills a slot.
7 to 9 is tango, which is you get 2.
We got that one the most often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 to 11 is glitch hiker, which is when you roll for software after plugging into a character's upgrade port instead of rolling, you gain this glitch. After another character rolls for software after plugging into your upgrade port, they gain it, and then you delete it. So basically just passes.
Glitch hiker, hitchhiker. Oh my.
That's the pun. You got it.
That's
my god. Where is this Emmy?
That is my favorite moment of this campaign, by the way.
What?
The like, hey, do we think we should go in there? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like you guys discussing.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, guy, can you do this in character? Yeah, I think we should go in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Give these men the Emmys they deserve.
Oh my god!
Anyway.
Yeah, we should go in there. Yeah.
Swing and a miss.
Alright.
12, 13. When you spend energy to increase the die mod, gain additional glitch if you fail. 14, 15, a crowd.
Jesus, yeah.
You gain 3 glitches. 16, fool me once. If you are already afflicted with fool me once, your total glitch count doubles.
Youch.
The gimmick with these being that they exponentially increase
Yup.
and multiply. 7, your energy is reduced to 0. For every energy deleted, gain a glitch of this type. If your energy was already at 0, you gain no glitches. This is what shorted you out at the beginning.
Yeah. I got it and just boom.
Because none of you had used energy yet.
Yeah.
18, vicious cycle. Your unarmed melee attacks inflict this glitch every time you
Okay, that would
do
have been
damage.
fucking cool.
It would have been cool until you hit someone and then they hit you back.
Yeah, but
Vicious cycle.
But then I hit them again.
Yes, well, there you go. That's the name.
Wait, what? If they hit you back, why would they gain it? Why would you?
They
gain
gain it, and then I get another one of that glitch.
I guess I just wasn't a part of the description when I was reading it.
But I'm just saying, if someone was kitted out to like 8 and I hit them twice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could absolutely spin this in a way that would be useful. It's just, obviously they can do the same to you then. 19, 20 barrel roulette. Roll a d20. Whenever you roll that number, ever, you get an additional glitch of this type.
Wait, what?
So,
Oh shit! So you just have a
So
hard number for the rest of the.
every 20 barrel roulette grid.
and here's the fun part. When you get a second 20 barrel roulette, you get to choose a different number.
That's awesome.
And then 20, lucky clover, gain 4 glitches.
I also got that one.
Yeah, you did.
Look how you got 2 of the worst things.
I rolled tango. I rolled Alf and lucky clover.
Bro, of every of every stat to get cracked like loot drop, you got the worst one.
Anyway, yeah. So taking a break for this one more time before we head into green and the items.
Talkback sentence. The talkback segment of this.
I want to talk about the Stalker, the open world. I wanted to have an enemy, a reoccurring enemy. Their kit would have been different depending on where you found them. You found them in your military, so sorry.
Oh no!
Our RNG for this fucking game.
So basically, there are 3 main locations that they would have first shown up, which is utility, medical, or military. Utility would have been melee, weapons.
Medical would have been so fun.
Medical, they could heal themselves constantly. So basically, they would go invisible, get shot, heal themselves, then come back.
Infinitely better.
It would have been really fucking fun just to see there's blood on the floor, and then it stops.
That's what I tried to do, kind of. With there are a couple scenes. One of the scenes I was quite proud of is blood drops on you from the ceiling. You feel it, and then it appears.
Yeah.
God, how hard this thing's like.
Yeah, this guy. I loved the fight, by the way, with you and Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan and Dixon versus this guy in the train. Despite your rabid objections in the background, I loved that fight so much.
I think it's because I thought the Void's monster was faster than the train. So,
It's...
yeah. I didn't like the idea of having it hey, by the way, here's instant death, and it's...
It was a fair play.
There was your address.
It was a fair play. I think if I was in your shoes, I think I would have done something similar. Maybe not the exact same as running headlong into it. I probably would have set traps or something ahead of time, but I would have confronted it in the train because it's better in an enclosed space than anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, you fought them.
Chewing on fist over there.
Let's take a look.
It's just the fact that it didn't work. If it had
Yeah.
worked, I would have immediately just been, alright.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so quickly going over the what I have here as the biblically accurate Jax, which is the weird floating thing.
Yo.
The weird floaty
Yeah,
multi.
they look
Jax?
Jacks it's the game where you have a bouncy ball, you hit the jacks, try to catch the jack.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this one can fly.
Yeah.
It could punch well.
Belt sweeper, that's why.
Lightning and fly. And it had 30 HP, which is its main gimmick. And could attack. It could attack 3 times. You guys dealt with it very easily though. Like collectively you got 5 damage.
Didn't we just hit that shit
With a
our
car?
With a car,
Yeah.
We hit it with a car.
Not a lot of
twice.
technicality related to that boss. Fight in
Anyway,
particular.
the Stalker. So the Stalker just had +1 die mod, so a D4 of stealth, just flat out ignoring mind slots. 1 to 5 was Void Song. 6 was Peacekeeper package, so melee attack +2, so D6. Whiplash reflexes, it got increased AC. Hunter Seeker, which was invisibility, which was a D8, combined with the passive skill, was a D10. Also Vent Sanitizer with Escape Artist and Sleight of Hand. The goal with this character was to keep you guys moving, as well as the time. The time limit. The point of the time limit was just to keep you guys moving. I didn't want you guys to meander too much. And also it was just kind of a cool. This is a weird convergence of genres, but like at its core, it is kind of a heist. Because that's what it was, written down. It was a heist.
True.
Yeah.
So, and it also had its weapon, which was the Rusted Machete. Deals a d6 of damage, and it gains, it's a d8 to damage, and increased hit as well when it's in stealth. Which would have been a cool item to get.
I mean, yikes, for sure.
+2 items for the corresponding area he's in.
If this campaign was a heist, then we play this thing like shopping at the mall.
Very well put. Very, very, yeah.
And then giving all
Got
our stuff
him.
away that we bought at the very end.
Yep.
I'm sorry, officer. Here's all the stuff I shoplifted. I'm really sorry. You let me go. Just
No.
kidding. I'm fucked up and evil.
We tried to turn it into a heist again,
Yeah.
and then we went, just kidding. It
Yeah.
went from shopping, heist, and then brawl,
Yo.
and then prison break.
That's true.
You guys, while Amy and Michael were unconscious, you guys went in the train to Green, where you found some Green software.
We
So
finally started winning.
we can start talking about that.
Green.
It's funny. I'll play the clip right here. Here it is. I'm playing it.
I remember. How do I get rid of temporary trauma?
You don't know.
Fun.
You do the body. You therapy.
The body.
Yeah,
Meditation.
Let's stop for some group therapy.
Well, meditation.
God, I hope you roll
Meditation.
So I'll just skip ahead to 7 to 9. Licensed therapist for Green. Clear 1 temporary trauma. Clear 2 temporary trauma. Clear 3 temporary trauma per character.
Yeah, pretty useless.
I so wanted you guys to get that as the game turned into what it was, which was all of you losing your minds. I wanted one of you to be like, wait, no, as reflection, hold on. I have the ability to process and internalize and I don't know. I feel like that would have been very amusing and needed.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But so it goes. Anyway, 1 to 3 is biotech. 1, 2, 3, D4, D68, as well as the ability to spend 3 energy to perform a psychic extraction without the assistance of an upkeep terminal. One of you got that. Action for the next one: remedial restorator package. 4 to 6. Spend a number of energy to heal an amount equal. Yeah, spend energy. Then you heal the equal amount. And you can do that to yourself. With Beta, you can do that to yourself or adjacent character. And then Alpha, oh yeah, you got this too. You can basically glitch someone out with healing. 10, 11, Psych Writer Package. When you run a diagnostic report, you may learn the exact number of individual afflictions present. With Beta, when you do that, you learn the exact number of individual afflictions and boons present. And with Alpha, when you do that, you learn the exact number of individual afflictions, boons, as well as the boons' respective clearance levels. So basically, you can do what Seth wanted to do in the beginning, and I told him you couldn't, which is, hey, you can look at someone and without risking yourself, see what they have.
Yeah.
And you also get text off with that.
But why the...
Paywalled.
12, 13, Otherworld Researcher, Knowledge Arcana, D4, D68, Alpha, and then D4, die mod against D4 die mod against spectral beings.
I want Dixon to get that just because that would have been so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's with the left like spectral beings?
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been basically just against the siren, or if somehow you encountered a ghost, there was a possibility.
A ghost.
There was a possibility near the beginning of this game, when I was first running it, that I considered that you might try to fight the Zenith troops at the end, and there was some potential ghost shenanigans during that.
Ghost shenanigans.
14 to 15.
What?
Neuropatcher package. Can spend 3 energy to clear a temporary glitch. Spend 2 to clear the glitch. Spend 1. And Alpha, when you become affected with a glitch, you can spend energy to ignore its passive. You guys got this. I don't remember who or when.
Yeah, I got it later on. What knowledge arcana? What would that ever be used for?
Amy had that.
Knowledge about magic.
I'll look at Amy's sheet real quick.
I guess the campaign was so like magic devoid until the end.
So Amy just inherently had a D6 in stealth, a D4 in arcana, and a D4 in tracking.
Don't you know? There's no magic in Lost Mines.
It would have helped with anything dealing with the Void Song. That's why it was there. Or, ghost magic.
Ghost magic.
There's one that I really wish Dixon got because he was a weird, goofy man, but it never happened, which is the Gene Splicer.
Oh, this would have been great.
You may kill an immobile character to move 1d4 HP from them to another character, and you can do that with a d6 with beta and a d8 with alpha.
He would have become a fucking gene stealer.
Yeah, he would have just been basically grafting body parts to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Do some, what's his name? Who's the guy from Elden Ring?
It's funny because he actually fucking hates Godric. Yeah. He hates that guy.
17, Void Song Purger package. You can spend 3 energy to reroll a Void Song result, or beta 2 energy, alpha 1 energy, and with alpha as well, a d4 against those afflicted with Void Song, which is pretty good. 18, Selective Memory package. I believe Michael got this.
Yep.
Which with increasing levels of success, you can, when you perform a wipe, there's a chance that you can retain all boons, glitches, and most of your memories, while the Void Song and Trauma is wiped away. So it's the gamble of, keeping your memories while keeping your toys.
Yep.
That would have been sick.
19, Cerebral Preservator package. Every 5 rounds after you're killed, you can spend 3 energy to not take permanent trauma. For beta, that's 2 energy. For alpha, that's 1 energy. This one was super specific, but also super powerful in the right circumstances. Basically, this is for a scenario where someone dies, and you are very far from an upkeep terminal, and you are, basically a situation where it could take, 20, 30 rounds to reach one. How long do they have before they perma-die? This could sort of slow that down. And then 20, let's talk about 20. Remove 1 permanent affliction, and then the software is immediately deleted. And then 2, and then 3 with beta and alpha.
Didn't we roll that?
This changed the campaign.
Yeah.
We would have not finished the campaign if we didn't have this.
As much as I am disappointed that we spend a lot of time gambling just for you guys to give your stuff away, the fact that you spent a large portion of that time with this, getting rid of your permanent trauma and Void Song, changes the game completely. The biggest reason is you guys would not have been able to enter the final boss area if you had Void Song. The gate wouldn't allow you in. And you would have had to find a way to disable that from the outside.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that improved things exponentially. Also, the fact that you later gave that to Gent, who gave it to all of his soldiers. Let's look at these soldiers now. We'll move on to Gent.
Something I wanted to mention.
Actually, hold on, real quick. Before we get there, there's one thing I want to mention, which is I want to talk about the scene that Michael had when he was chasing down the stalker in the hospital. Do you remember that?
You've talked about this.
So what happened was the 4 of you entered a room and confirmed that the stalker was not in the room and decided, okay, we're going to send Morgan, Dixon, and Amy to the train to figure, get our escape ready, while Michael goes out the other door that you came from to distract the stalker and get their attention. And what happened is once you exited that door, the stalker was out there watching you. You rolled shit on perception, didn't see him. Once you started progressing, the stalker followed the larger group.
Yeah.
Because the stalker's objective was to follow the group that he thought would most likely survive, because the goal is to get the siren back out into oblivion, and so they wanted to follow you guys the entire way to maybe persuade you to help. Which is really funny, because re-listening to that scene, I'm having you roll perception against my stealth of air.
Yeah.
I was rolling stealth to trick you, the player, because there was no chance you'd succeed.
That was fun.
And the worst part is you kept rolling badly, so it's not even like you could have gotten a 20 and I'd been like, yeah, there's nothing here. You can confirm for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened. I'll pull up briefly the mini-map. So in this initial area where the sort of red is, that's representing the force fields, how this combat was supposed to go is you would enter, and I would assume, and again, all of this information was based off of the characters you had played in Soul Survivor, so I'd assume you would just bum rush the guy. Or something to that effect. And if you didn't, what would happen is, once the alert went off, 2 security lasers would pop out on either end of this entrance. The security lasers had 5 HP, only 5 HP, and low damage, only D4 of damage, but very high to hit. Big shooty, as the notes say. That was to sort of deter you from staying in here. Furthermore, every round, one of these doors would drop down, and once an area was like locked off, the area would be electrocuted. You guys would have had the ability to transfer software between each wall if you wanted, and that might help if someone was trapped, right? You would give them like a hey, let's escape software. But the idea was you would try and get to this guy. The thing that you eventually conclude is that he can only shoot at one person at a time. So the idea was basically at this point in the campaign, I wanted to sort of give you a fight that forced you to acknowledge the fact that dying is actually a pretty okay strategy in this setting. Like basically throwing yourself at something, since you can just respawn, actually works out in certain scenarios.
Unless you have 3 permanent trauma.
Well, yeah, depending on how bad off you were.
Could we have pulled the truck? No, the truck wouldn't have fit in that.
No.
Okay, could we have gotten the truck close to the barrier?
I don't think it would have gone through the front door.
I don't think you could have. I mean, you could have like driven it
I'm
up
trying
to
to
the
say,
other
what
side.
if we printed out like 20 bodies, threw them in the back of the truck, took them to here, and then
Yeah.
we just have like each of us hold like 2 bodies, we're trying to throw them down the hallway, and then fucking die to teleport to them?
It was a very real possibility, and at the time there was a body in the train that would eventually be used by Haley.
Who?
She changed her name. Remember, I've been using her name. I've been saying Amy when referring to her in the past tense, but like at that point she would have been Haley. And then there's Gent. Let's look at all the soldiers, shall we? So, Gent was stacked. Gent has a lot. He has 4 slots.
Does he have 14 slots?
He has 14 slots. Let's go through it. He
has the mind expander.
He has Riot Wrecker, Alpha, Peacekeeper Beta, Living Shield Beta, Die Hard Protocol Alpha, which is permanent thanks to Bedrock Permadrive package, Anti-Personnel Gamma, Personal Protection package Gamma, Cyber Security Programmer package Alpha, Internal Transceiver Beta, Expanded Mental Storage, which just gives them the extra 4 slots, Core Security, and then he also had hardware. He also had a bunch of other. He had I believe it was permanent trauma PTSD shot and mental fatigue, or initially, but he got rid of those when you gave him the.
So how did I beat this guy to death? Because this guy is like Shinto god Shinigami death yoked. Like
Give me a sec. Hold on. If I tapped him with Vicious Cycle, wouldn't you just reset?
Yeah. the thing
Bro.
the thing with all of these guys is that like they were pretty stacked. Like the optimal strategy would be to use software against them.
AIDS.
Cameron also had a unique setup here. Oh, I should also say Gent had, at least initially Gent had his maglock hook shot, which you guys got, 2 grenades, 2 glitch grenades, and an elevator authorization card. Cameron had...
So we could have detonated one of his glitch grenades.
Yeah.
I think that happened at one point.
But basically the idea with Gent, though, is that because he has the Die Hard protocol, if he went down, he would just get back up again. Which ultimately ended up working. Something I absolutely adore about Ebon Ward, which is the TTRPG series that I watch all the time, is that a bunch of the antagonists are revenants, so you get to fight them multiple times, which is something that you don't really get to see in TTRPGs often, because there's not really a way that you can kill an enemy and then they come back very often. So I loved the fact that you gave him the gold software that let him respawn, because that basically let me do what I had intended with the Die Hard protocol package, but even further, which is he just kept on coming back every time you beat him. It was a lot of fun to run. But yeah, we don't need to go through all of it. Like I said, I'm going to be linking these in the description, but Cameron had a bunch of medical stuff because she was a medic. And then all of the guards, Barrett, Ramirez, Dawson, Maddox, all had Frontier Quick Draw, which is a D8. The disadvantage when using government firearms, and then the comms, and then the gives you zappy when you interact. And all of them started with disadvantage when firing. That was the gimmick, that they were very souped up on abilities, but they also had trauma from years and years of fighting until you guys, cured them of all of that.
The guy who we beat to death in the elevator, the
Yeah.
only one who died.
No, they all died.
Oh, for sure, yeah, okay.
You let the siren in, and it kind of took over all of their minds, which is awesome. Before it slips my mind, let's go over items. This is the last big thing I need to read out, I believe. Military items. Basically, how it would work is you guys would roll investigation checks, and each of you would get an item if you rolled well when entering a new area. I should have been a bit more liberal with that, I think.
Could have hit us the beta grenade.
But yeah, so basically 1 is a grenade, is a gamma grenade, 2 is a gamma pistol, or 2 is just a pistol. With firearms, I went pistol, rifle, shotgun. So yeah, gamma grenade, pistol, 3 is riot shield, 4 is better grenade, 5 is smart rifle, 6 is riot baton, 7 is grenade, 8 is shotgun, 6 is glitch grenade, and 10 is the best grenade, the Sigma grenade. And like those are all items that you either saw, or I can just tell you that depending on how good it is, it has better damage.
How much damage did the Sigma grenade do?
Let's take a look.
Sig-million points of damage.
Sigma dick.
That's just the description. Damage type. Sigma dick.
I believe it would be a D10 of damage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Utility 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are the energy conservation canisters, with it being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each of those. What those do is it restores that amount of energy. So, 1 is just a, hey, get 1 energy. 3 is, hey, get 2 energy. 5 is get 3 energy, so on and so forth. There's the excavation armor, which is 1 at 2. If you roll the 2, you get 1 DR. Roll the 4, you get 2 DR. Roll an 8, you get 3 DR. And there's the ice pick at 6, which is just a weapon. It deals a d6 of damage, metal damage, and it ignores 1 DR. And then 10 was the macro wave melter, which deals a d10 of damage, a d10 of fire damage. It's supposed to be like a mining tool, and it has the passive increase the damage die by 1 increment for every round it's active. So starts at d10, d12, d14, d16. Nat ones to hit cause the cannon to overheat, destroying it and dealing damage to the wielder instead.
Yo. That would have been pretty gas to use against Jen.
You know, would have just immediately turned that bitch on and kept it on.
Unless you roll the nat 1 and then you just kill yourself instantly.
No, I would have.
I would have just
started
rolled
running
better.
for him.
I would have just rolled better.
No, I would have turned it on and run towards him.
Medical items.
Oh yeah, we got a virus scrub a couple times. We got a vet kit.
Woo!
All right, now what does condom stand for?
All right, so at 1 you get a gamma virus scrub, 3 you get a beta virus scrub, 5 you get an alpha virus scrub, and 7 you get a sigma alpha virus scrub. Virus scrubs removed a D, whatever, of temporary glitches.
Scrubby's nuts. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're not sorry though. So basically, you roll a D4, you get rid of that many glitches. You roll a D6, you get a deal right as you go up. Medkits, same deal.
Heal.
Medkits at 2, 4, 5, and 8. Or sorry, 6 and 8, which are just healing that much. Then Mind Scorch is at 9.
Sounds familiar.
Which is replace all Void Song with temporary glitches. And then the conservation of neural devices opposing malware, or condom, is you may ignore all affliction rolls when you use a corrupted port, one-time use. So basically, if you were to access a port that's corrupted, you can transfer software once without contracting a affliction. I'm not going to go through all the administration items because I don't want to read all this out.
They authorize different layers.
But basically, half of them authorize different layers, half of them authorize different upgrade port types. As you recognized, a lot of the upgrade ports were locked. That's a mechanic that I probably should have just thrown out wholesale. I kept it around because I didn't know what to make the administration items, so I kind of locked it behind that. I should have just come up with something different. And then the recreation items.
Best items.
So 1 is a holographic dog. 2 is a puffer jacket.
You know Dixon would have been all fucking over that.
Which is gain 3 temporary HP. It cannot be healed once lost. So basically you just get like one time big puffer jacket.
That'd be pretty good.
You just get to fucking man's not hot.
3 is hollow pet cat. 4 is a holographic cape, which you increase your AC by D4 when attack would hit you. Basically, you know.
Use a cape.
Yeah. 5 you get a holographic bird. 6 is blue cow.
Woo! What is blue cow?
Oh no, I changed it to green heifer. It's an energy pill. I was making a Red Bull joke.
Yeah, it's an energy pill.
Restore all energy and do not take penalties from not sleeping for the next 12 hours. One-time use.
Yeah.
Sleep is another thing I should have told you guys about before it started to happen. I still like that I had a sleep mechanic in the game. I felt like it was kind of necessary. I should have told you guys from off rip what that was.
It completely did not click at all. That was a thing.
Uh,
Neo pop music album.
Anyway, 7 you get a holographic snake. 8 you get the Neo Pop album, which you guys got, which is the god awful pop music.
So we also missed the 2 useful items in this list.
And then 10 you get the winning lottery ticket, which is what
Didn't we
got.
Yeah, so didn't
We got the ticket and the Neo Pop
for?
album.
Yeah.
It was not useful.
What's the ticket for?
Nothing. You get money.
So we got the pop album, the
Bro,
fish,
in
and we
both
got...
pink lists, we got the most useless shit. Ain't no way, bro. Loving that neural overload of knowledge right now.
Yeah.
We got all of our weapons. Steel pipe!
Yeah,
Steel pipe falling noise.
These are just plot items. Alright, moving...
No, come on, talk your autism real quick, Austin.
Just the wood chipper again. So sorry.
What? No, sorry, explain.
Sorry, there's a mind callback.
Man, I
to,
hate
like,
how
the
much you guys are talking about the wood chipper, because the more you talk about it, the more that means I need to keep it in.
What the fuck are you... Why do you keep saying wood chipper?
Okay, it's because, like, some steel pipe falling sound effect instantly correlates to wood chipper, which instantly correlates to child, gif, and then...
I hope you cut all this out.
Anyway.
This is really dark humor.
It's just stupid.
You guys, I want to talk about now. Let's actually give you guys an opportunity to speak. The end game, sort of like when you guys all diverged and went your separate ways.
Yeah.
Questing for woodchip. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus
No.
Christ. About to get John Wick. Right in the back with this fucking pencil.
That's the thing, though. Like, I didn't have any plans for.
Well, yeah,
Morgan.
we don't need to talk about plans. Just like what happened.
Gasp.
What happened? Isn't that in
At the end game, yeah.
Isn't that what they listened to?
Talk about what you were experiencing during the end game.
What was I stroking out as of right now, actually. But, dude, I don't know. I was just enjoying my time. That's about it. Like, I was trying to just build a character as things were happening at the time, and I was trying to like, oh, okay, well then here's some breadcrumbs I can follow here.
So here's the thing, right?
Something
So you
her.
described playing an RPG.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Because like the series' tone was greatly affected by your character, and Michael as well. Michael was having a miserable time from the beginning and was very vocal about that, which also greatly affected the tone. I kind of expected you guys to go into this with Dixon's mindset, which is just like, whatever happens, let's go. I'm glad that you guys didn't all go that route, because that would be kind of like, a kind of boring if all of you just didn't care.
It would have kind of killed every.
But I didn't expect you guys to go quite in the directions you did. So I guess the question is did that just feel natural to go in that direction, or did you have something in mind when you... Because, like, the way Morgan thinks isn't how Austin thinks. So I guess my question is, what made you decide how Morgan thinks?
What were those character choices there?
I needed a different character. That's what first came to mind. Like, I saw that you were very much like an external processor, and so you were always thinking through your experiences and speaking them out loud, and that's kind of how you were doing it. I kind of wanted Morgan to internalize. And so, like, and very, like, reactive of the situation, kind of avoiding everything, until eventually it got to the point where it was, like, she was trying to shut down and just, like, exist, because she didn't think she had a chance in hell of, like, getting off the planet. There was also some weird fuck-off space creature outside that was just really not great vibes.
And it felt very sudden at the time, but, like, re-listening to it, like, the signs were there for a while that she was losing it. Like, even during the first sort of episodes, there was a moment where, like, she's like, she said something along the lines of, like, I'm having a bad time, right? And, Michael's like, yeah, it's just, we all fucking are. Screw you, whatever. And Dixon doesn't care, and Amy, like, does her best to be polite and console you, but doesn't realize quite how badly things are going. I feel like a big takeaway for in general is just the idea of this sort of what's it called, like nature versus nurture.
Yeah. Of
like, hey, how does a person defined by how they were, their experiences, or by who they are? And I feel like, obviously we're all people with different experiences, and we bring that into the game ourselves. But within the context of the fiction, we're dealing with 4 different people who experienced the exact same things and all reacted very differently. And I think that's very cool.
I wanted to take the idea of someone in a bad time wanting to just reach a sense of, like, because sometimes people want to really, like, sink into the mud of life and really get, like, the same patterns, the same habits, and everything be normal and get their day in routine and just continually feed off the sustenance of comfort. And that's what I kind of wanted from Morgan, except she was in a very uncomfortable situation.
Right, yeah.
It was just a ticking time bomb.
Definitely, honestly, more relatable, maybe not more understandable, but more relatable to me anyway than Michael. It's very interesting, though. Michael and Morgan, both very reasonable stances, but took it too far. Like, they basically had the same opposite stances, but couldn't respect each other, at least not in this this building until the very end. which I feel like is we're sort of skipping ahead. But I guess
I think we can.
Basically talking about sort of. I feel like the sort of moral, not even moral, but sort of like the arc that is both Michael and Morgan is sort of learning to respect each other despite being fundamentally different.
True.
Yeah. To accept that this person just doesn't see things the way that you are.
And also the idea of like, for Michael more so, as he sort of started, as you mentioned, having a growing appreciation for human life, sort of realizing, does my value of human life, is that dependent on that human's beliefs?
The person, yeah.
And
what
and
if
how
they don't?
And how they value their time. We got a lot deeper than I expected. And then there was Dixon.
Yeah.
Dixon just went hog wild, and I love that.
I yearn for the void.
That was a lot of fun. I like that the story was Michael and Morgan starting to improve and like taking the first steps on the journey of improvement, and then Dixon just like embracing the darkness in like an entertaining way, in like a not takes itself too serious sort of way, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like we get too many corruption arcs that are like played as tragedies, which it has its place to be sure, but I really enjoyed Dixon's overall arc.
He really put the slip and slide and slippery slope, and he just went. And he went. It was pretty great.
Yeah, that wasn't. You know what? I love that one. That's good. That's a good one. That one. If you would like a Michael retrospective, just as a whole.
Yeah, go for it.
He was a character that I started out, and his main figure of being was someone who was incredibly scared of dying and of being forgotten and being meaningless was his main character fear. And there were a couple times where I tried to, hint at that being it, but dying a no one and doing nothing with his life. And that was his main motivation during the first, our backstory, where he just wanted to be important and powerful. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, yeah, we're gonna do that and take a city. And then he was reminded that there are things that are just and always will be more powerful than him. Mm. And then he was put right back down to where he was. And then he had to grab at something. And so he grabbed at the other people around him, and he was trying to make that his purpose.
And that was very funny because one of them he hated, one of them didn't care about his well-being, and then the third one died, or seemingly died.
Yeah, at the beginning, like, he was really, like, through the entire thing, like, we're gonna do what you want, I'm gonna see you through this, you're gonna make it through this, and, and then he realized, then, right after that...
The two that survived didn't necessarily want to make it through it.
Yeah.
He realized, they're not trying to make it out of this the way I am.
I kind of wanted to do a sort of... Like, you venture into the desert with a clear goal in mind, but eventually your environment gets just so hostile that you stop at the first oasis you see and you don't leave.
And, yeah, Michael, being so afraid of death was why he acted so violently towards everything. Mm-hmm. Because losing was not an option for him. It was never... He could never consider surrender or defeat. He had to make it through. No matter... So everything that went wrong... It weighed on him, but he just kept pushing harder.
We'll touch on Soot in that game in a bit, but just sort of wrapping up the court party and discussing that for Amy's part and going into Haley. The kind of fucked up part about her is the fact that there is an aspect of her that she doesn't have a control of because of the fact that she was a soul rune. When you imposed your soul on her, you gave her 2 attributes, which was armor and sentience. That was a part of your own. Her mission to protect you guys was a subconscious obligation. Her affection for Morgan was like not even a thought of her own making. It was sort of like
encoded.
Yeah. And so her journey was really just realizing, very, very punctuated by her death, that like, hey, maybe I should just be my own person.
Yeah.
And, find an identity of my own, which I think she probably wouldn't have been able to break out of if everyone hadn't been so insistent on going on their own way. Every time the group considered fracturing, she was very much against that. And that's why she sort of was created to keep everyone together.
Interesting.
That's that. I'm interested to see where these characters go. I guess that's a good lead-in.
It's your character now, man.
To the next sort of bit, which is Soot. Such a goofy goober. I came up with her very last minute. Like we said, we've been planning this I've been planning this for 3 years at this point. Soot came into my brain like a little worm about 2 or 3 months before we ran that session.
It came to me in a dream.
Basically. Because I realized that there was no circumstances that the Zenith encounter would be a combat scenario. The party just wasn't... They weren't in that mindset, and much less equipped for that kind of a fight. Because what I had assumed is once you guys went to the core and found them there, on top of your exit plan, you would have tried to fight them. And if any of you would have died, your brains would have been beamed into the unoccupied bodies in their ship, which had soul runes. So it would have turned into an actual fight, where you would have gotten your asses kicked and then come back as actual, wizards. That never happened, obviously.
We chose the most narrative-focused, heaviest anti-combat, no mechanics, just raw.
Which is fine. If you look at the dungeon, I had a very specific. All right, well, this is where this terminal is for you guys to get gear, and then you make your way down in this exact order. I thought maybe you guys would come in from a different angle, because if you look on the map, there's a little crack that goes into the core chute from a different angle. There was a different way to enter into the final area. So maybe you went that way, but more or less you would do it in this certain order. Of course you didn't.
We just walked in.
Walked in, gave up your gear. Which I kind of... I don't know if I regret that happening. I feel like I should have maybe put my foot down. I should maybe been a bit more... Maybe assassinate Gent's character a bit just to get the ball rolling for combat. Well, because there were 2 sessions in there that were kind of a drag. You guys didn't have any gear. You didn't have anything to do. It was just basically fighting and losing.
Until we fucking killed that guy.
But the last 2 sessions were great, so I feel like it was kind of worth it. So it was an interesting part of this, because I wanted a character. I want a character who gave you the chance to choose what you wanted to do. And she would have. If you guys decided, I don't want to be around for this ever again, she would have been like, yeah, all right, see ya.
Go into the universe.
Go into the universe and be your own. But yeah, no, weirdly, despite your character's complete opposite views of the world, they both wanted a purpose. And so, here they are.
Yep.
I suspect we'll be seeing them again at some point.
I suspect we'll see them again.
Can't wait to fight my own character. Could be hard.
I mean, probably not. I don't... I mean, assuming Caleb's still alive,
Yo,
they'd be on the same team.
I can't. It's true.
Austin chooses to assassinate your character of 9 years just to fight his own player character.
Well,
For no reason. I just want to say the Spec Ops, Hawk, Soot, Clip, and Kim all had their own unforgotten instincts of their past lives. Hawk was a killer cook, plus D4 to making a mean omelet.
fuck, I want an omelet right
I know, right?
God, you get like ham, green pepper,
Soot-
onion. You
Soot knows ores and materials. Soot also had a silver software that never came up, where automatic void filter. When you receive void song, it is immediately purged from your mind alongside your memory of the past round.
Is that what
Wonder what that's about.
girl had? Sorry, I can't say that.
What'd you say?
That's mean.
No, what'd you
Is that
say?
what the wood chipper girl had? Yeah.
Wow, that is just gonna be her legacy now, huh?
Fucking wood chipper. Why?
I don't know, man.
Alright, hold on.
Anyway, just kind of maybe a last
She's
note.
not real, though. Yo, sorry.
Shut the fuck up. Where's the fish? Are we actually gonna use the fish in a non-fucking... a non-session
You're getting a
habitat?
melee fish.
Double tap.
Anyway,
Also, the only person to ever get a non-session fish.
there was a chance that you guys would either fight the siren, using your new soul powers, if you got them, if you chose to go that route, or call the beacon, and either try to fight the beacon, because that's what Michael wanted to do, or have the beacon fight the siren. I did have some music for that. I'll play that in the background. Pretty intense. And I'll just read out the...
This is by Carpenter Butt.
Fish him. Fish him.
Christ. I'll just read out the siren stat line real quick.
I'm gonna literally be here all day.
It had 15 HP, no soul, no mind, no energy. It had a bunch of passives. At the start of combat, or as a full round action, it can prompt a Serenade of the Void check, which if you remember, do the thing where you get trauma. Void form, it's intangible, can only be damaged by soul. Void slasher, when it deals damage, the target of your attack is afflicted with 1d4 void song. Soul drinker, when you deal damage, you permanently absorb the target's soul equal to the damage dealt, and may heal the soul you absorbed. And mind blight, which is once per round, creatures that perceive you are afflicted with 1 void song. So not fun. This is specifically designed to fight the beacon if that was going to be a fight.
Yeah.
And its skills are the Song of Kindest. It could just do that, which is heal someone to give them a void song to heal them. Melee attack, only a D4 to hit with only a D6 of damage. That wasn't the scary bit. The scary bit is the fact that you get a D4 void song in your brain. It had a D8 to perception, a D10 to intimidation, a D4 to initiative, a D was a 16 to perform, and a D10 to escape artist.
Sorry, that's preform.
Damn.
What about post form?
I'm more into that
Minor
mid-form.
spelling mistake. Die.
I'm more into that mid-form, actually.
I feel like I'm forgetting
Nature
so
form,
many things I wanted to
form.
talk about, but that's fine. This is dragged on for way too long
At
anyway.
a certain point, you can add
It's
it
so
in
interesting to
post.
see like a legendary creature
Yeah.
in like one of your campaigns.
Yeah, let me put on something a little bit less intense. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Do you have any comments regarding the game?
I think it was well with what we did. It was more of a lore and narrative deep dive. So the mechanics were there to kind of like shuffle us along.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting to see how completely epic and how fun this campaign could have been. Instead of like a narrative just trot almost, and then have like, my character's mentally breaking down, and then with both of us, and then it's like working through heavy themes. In reality, we could have been like punching a hole through Brent's stomach, and then like summoning the beacon to fight this fucking big ass
Brent.
It's when you run a game, you have to accept at the very beginning that the game you want to run is not the game you're going to get, for better or worse. So I kind of expected you guys to deviate. I'm not entirely disappointed in how it ended up. I definitely think, like I said, there'd be a bunch of different things I'd change. I'd probably enforce the rules a bit. I would have fought back, I think, a little bit against Seth's attempt to go along with the team during the episode where, like, there was the episode where you guys were arguing with Gent.
Right.
And then there was, like, a 3-week break. And then when we played the next session, Michael was immediately, like, just down to go along with the team.
I'll be real. I was tired of just fighting the group.
Yes, but I'm a very preparation-based
Yeah.
GM, and I sure
Yeah.
had prepared everything for you guys to fight each other.
No, I mean, looking back, I definitely, like, would have just done... I did not want to fight the group. I feel like that would have ended so badly.
In fairness, I don't think that was avoidable. Like, eventually you guys dissolved.
But, like, we were going to fight. Like, we were going to have a combat.
Yeah.
Sure.
I did not want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Is it meta player or is it Michael player?
I think he's saying as Seth
Both.
didn't want to do it.
Okay.
I was prepared and ready for it just because of how you guys had acted in Soul Survivors. Like, you had literally attacked each other in the first 2 hours of interacting.
Yeah, no, I mean, going back, I might have rolled with it anyway. It being 3 weeks, I did kind of just... I slid out of the...
And of
The
course,
character's
I
emotion.
had the sort of perspective of, like, I have a backup Morgan in a spaceship if Austin dies. Obviously, you guys didn't have that context.
Yeah, no, I spent that entire game with the mindset of, like, yeah, if I die, I'm gonna have permanent trauma, and if I blank out... Well, actually, no, up to that point, if I die, there's no extra bodies. We just fucking die.
I mean, there's none for you.
Yeah, also that, like, yeah, no, I'm just fucked if I die.
Mm-hmm.
You really
If
need to
Michael
choose.
had died, I would have had, and this is gonna not make any sense for anyone other than Seth, I would have had one of the Seventh Seal show up in place of Soot, and I would have had you play them.
Isn't the Seventh Seal like a rival?
We talked about it briefly. The Seventh Seal are
Anti-Zenith
the
terrorist zealot organization.
yeah,
That would be
basically.
crazy. Yeah, right up Michael's alley.
Oh,
I was
boy.
completely willing to have that combat occur. Like, I'm so conductive.
No, but here's the thing. I was down too. I was
Yeah.
ready. I was ready for it to happen.
I'm so
I didn't wanna kill
conductive,
Morgan.
Just terrible things happening.
But here's the
It's
thing,
like-
though. Look, like player versus player stuff can get messy, but the player was okay with it.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I guess.
I just was. I did not want either Morgan or
It was
Michael to die.
It was interesting. The position was like Morgan was just was gonna do this, and if nothing stopped her, she was just gonna do this, and like the main person standing in my way was you. So that's what determined.
I
what
think
was
I
gonna
would have
happen.
also died too. I think at that point in time,
So here's
I
the
was
thing.
missing HP.
There was a body in the train at that point. One body in the train that Morgan left. I think what would have happened is Morgan would have died. And she would have moved to that.
I don't think so though.
Really?
I think at that point in time, I was missing HP. I think she would have. I think I would have died.
I did have I did have a lot more HP.
Basically,
than
what it
most
was
people.
you guys were. Well, I mean, you know, we could debate endlessly. We don't know what
You
would
also
have
had more
happened,
gear though.
but it's. I think the biggest mistake on my part is letting you guys call my bluff when Gent asked for your software.
Yeah. No. I saw
I
that.
I should have walked that back immediately as soon as you guys were willing to, because that made the game infinitely less fun in terms of all of the non-narrative stuff.
I felt pushed into a corner by the PvP element, and I saw that as, oh, okay, we can pick this and not do that.
Sure.
Yeah, you could have had Brent be like, "Give me your software," instead of like, "Would you like to give me your software?" Kind of like, I don't know. I felt like there would have been some pushback if he was like hostile, and Morgan would have been like, "Oh, this may not be like
That
a
was
safe.
the main thing.
This
is that,
might
like,
not be a safe place to actually settle in if it's like a bad vibe in here."
That was the main thing, is that he actually was not threatening at all. So it's like, oh yeah, no, we could just like crash here.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
But,
like,
but then you
pretty
didn't.
chill
Then you didn't
guy
sleep.
for-
Then you punched a guard. Then yeah, there was a lot of
I
miscommunication
snapped,
out of
bro.
character, and then a lot of. That was another mistake of mine, just because everything had been so slow that session. I was kind of too excited for her to punch that guard.
the infamous incident.
I jump his ass. Legendary.
I jump
Words that will go on your gravestone. All right. Let's
Minar
wrap this up.
Minar 2.
Yeah, no, I jump. That what is it?
Minar's the one thing I stand.
When we finally get our own wiki and we have like player character bios.
Fuck
It's
off.
What is
Austin.
it? TV tropes,
Yeah,
Minar.
it's Austin. I jump his ass.
It's
That's
funny.
his quote.
It's funny too because one of the biggest inspirations for Gent was Minar, like full stop.
Really?
In the brief time you knew her.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I
wouldn't expect you to do that.
I take a bunch of ingredients and stir them into a pot.
Right. Yeah.
But Minar was one of them, as basically someone who was who acted on principle when logic would say otherwise.
Right.
Her Regalia attempting to convince her not to kill her and being right by every metric, and her still doing it because of like principle and tradition, kind of like sort of stuck with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've rambled on for long enough. I enjoyed running this a lot. I don't know if we'll ever see these characters again
I hope we do.
on this channel, but they'll appear again somewhere. I'll write something, or we'll do something else. We'll see.
Caleb just blows a hole through her skull. I don't know. Yeah, it's just-
Caleb murks Morgan in an off-screen death.
But why?
You're full of cringe. I don't know.
Hold on, Austin, can I get a clean one of those into the mic real quick?
Yo,
Get a little closer. Get a little closer. Say that.
You're full of cringe.